'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. So that's what I'm telling myself right now because um that lady, that lady decided to hit Jamaica, and um right now all we can do is hope and pray that everything will be all right, right? Because I feel like that's the Jamaica spirit. That's the spirit of Jamaicans. Um, so yeah, Bob Marley said it best. But when your heart, when your heart is back home in the middle of a storm, those words hit different. They do. But I'm hopeful. When you love a place deeply, storms don't just don't hit the land or things, they hit your heart too. Welcome back to Antonia's Blissful Corner. This is day 20 of my 25-day journey, and I'm excited. Today's reflection is personal, and I don't know, it's been a little bit topsy turvy over the past few days because I'm sure that everyone worldwide now knows that that lady, that hurricane named Melissa, she made quite an entrance today. And I will say that I have been distracted by her um very delayed arrival. Not that I wanted her to get there, but I really wanted for her to get there so that the anxiety for those abroad could be lessened. Man, oh man. I was there, as you know, just last week. I was there for a week, and it is hurricane season. So I did let the group know because there were some people who were going to Jamaica for the first time. So I was mindful enough to let them know that it was hurricane season. When I checked the forecast, I didn't see anything before we traveled, but it changes daily, right? And so we had pretty good weather. You know, there were some days that it rained, but it wasn't like washout rainy days. It rained in the afternoon and at night. So yeah. And it wasn't until the day before I left is when I heard that about a storm at sea. Now, when I go to the beach, I'm always, I always pay attention to the way that the waves are coming in. And there are times when if it's in the morning and it's, because in Jamaica, depending on where you are, in Montego Bay, when the waves come in and the sea crashes on the beach, it's always like just gentle, like a little flow like this. And so I noticed that it was, more and more, not nothing crazy, but more than norm. Right when it comes in, it wasn't clear; it was cloudy because of the sand. And this was on actually the day when I was leaving. I went for my morning walk, and that was what I observed. But by then, I was aware that there was a storm coming, but I was told it would be there in like 48 hours. And so, of course, there was the watch, right? And Mother Nature is Mother Nature. Mother Nature is a lady. Mother Nature is on her own time. And so, therefore, we had to wait. And it was very difficult uh, to basically wait, because she kind of, uh, hmm, let's see, she basically sent out, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it, but it started to rain over the weekend, so they had some winds and rain in some areas and what have you. And I kept checking in with people. I kept monitoring YouTube, even though sometimes you can't believe everything that you say because there were videos of an area where I think I've mentioned it on here where there was flooding and people dancing, and it turns out that was a fake video. And I'm like, you know what, I got caught. But anyway, this one was not fake. This one was very much real. And when I woke up this morning and tuned into, because when I only days that I watch the news is the mornings when I'm going into the office, because I just need to know what the weather is like and what the train is like. Is my LRR running? Because if it ain't, then I'm not going nowhere. Can't. And when I learned that, she was going, because, and that's the thing too, because every day was like, okay, it's gonna hit tonight at 7 o'clock, it's gonna hit, and it never did. So when I woke up this morning, I was surprised to see and learn that it hadn't hit yet. Well, I'm sorry, and she finally, so on the news they mentioned that it was a category 5, and that it was going to be, is it's basically they were predicting that this will be the, I guess, like the strongest storm that has ever hit Jamaica, I guess, in like centuries. And it had me baffled. I ain't gonna lie, it had me baffled because I'm like, oh no. um, but yeah. So, they had the timing, like they mentioned like what time it was going to land. And again, like Mother Nature is Mother Nature. They think it's going to land at a certain time, and Mother Nature be like, no, I'm on my time. And so all day I kept saying, dag on it, that lady over there taking her time to get her hair done and trying to figure out what to wear and all these things before she head out. In any case, I kept calling mom to let her know what I knew, and the people that I was trying to get in touch with. And then also on the news, when they mention a particular area in Jamaica, so in St. Elizabeth is where I have some family. And unfortunately, when Beryl hit about 2 years ago, I think it was, that lady, and I actually have an aunt who's, with the ancestors now, or dead. But that lady, she went through St. Elizabeth and she took the roofs off of houses. And when we went that summer, I was in awe. I truly was in awe to see how she basically like just barreled through. She didn't care who was in the way, and she just took roofs with her. And I remember saying to mommy, "What? Who upset your sister? Like, what is she doing?" And so, to know that this is here. But the reality of it is an island, and that unfortunately is one of the things that can happen, is that they have these devastating storms that you just have to brace yourself for. And right now, I will say that today I was, even though I was in the office, I was, because then you walk in the office, they have the news on, so then you're seeing whether it's on the full screen or it's in like the lower thirds, you're seeing Jamaica. And anytime I see Jamaica, even if it's Jamaica, New York, I gotta stop and look and say, Jamaica, what did Jamaica do? And so they were speaking about Miss Melissa. And after I had my lunch, I went, because it's chilly outside and I didn't feel like going outside. And I decided to walk in the lobby of the building. And Apple was so kind. Apple was so kind to send a notification that says Melissa has now hit, like she's, I don't remember the words that they used, but as far as I'm concerned, she landed. So she landed, she hit landed. It was a category 5 at 185 miles per hour. And I was like, well, God darn it. And in that moment, I felt sadness and I felt relief. A tear came to my eye, and I called mommy, and mommy was laughing at me. Like, why you keep laughing at me? She's like, you really need therapy. because I kept calling, panicking, because I'm trying to call people. And on my way to work this morning, I called one of my cousins that actually live in there, because when they mentioned Black River, and I was like, because Black River is a part of St. Elizabeth, and I have family in, like, all over, spread across St. Elizabeth. But when they said mention Black River, so I text my cousin to say, basically just hoping that everybody is keeping safe, because I feel like that's the main thing, right? I saw a video yesterday yesterday where they sent, I guess the government sent buses um to get people to evacuate, and you have some old stubborn behind Jamaicans. I mean, I can relate. That would not leave, because they were like, I'm not leaving. They were like, and I'm like, what in the heck? Because my thing is, honestly, I would rather save my life than things, because things can be replaced. And even if things can't be replaced, the one thing that we know for certain that cannot replace is yourself, right? So it bothers me when people choose to not heed the recommendations of the government, and instead they choose to basically stick around and see what's going to happen. And it's just, in my opinion, it's ridiculous, especially with this lady, because this lady was, listen to me, I mean, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And so when it hit, because the reality of it is, once it hits, it's not done, because it has to basically crawl around Jamaica and do what he got to do and move, shuffle things around, and then take a leave and go someplace else. And I felt sadness. I called mom. I was trying to call some family, and I called one family and they mentioned that they had solar panels on the top of their on the roof, and they meant to take it down, but they didn't, and instead they basically like just tightened it. And you know what happened? And this is before the lady arrived. That wind was like that wind took it and basically threw it in the front yard. And it just goes to show that there Mother Nature isn't something to mess with, right? So right now, my heart is truly in Jamaica because I have family there, I have friends there, and I love my little island. I'm so happy that I was there last week to visit, connect with, uh, family, and then adopt new friends at the resort. And like I'm just praying and hoping that everyone will be okay. I did a little research before I came on tonight, and I found that Gilbert, Hurricane Gilbert back in 1988 was actually um, well second now to Melissa, because Hurricane Gilbert was actually a Category 5 also, except when it hit, it was a 3. They said it was a 3-4. So Melissa is scheduled or on record to be like the most devastating one in centuries, because this one was a 5. It hit dead on and the wind. But anyway, again, praying and hoping. Um, I'm glad that I was there. And the crazy thing is, it's like I'm thinking, because I have so many pictures that I took and videos that I haven't posted yet, and I don't even know if I will to post it because it's like, wait, why not? Why? Why? But I might. But anyway, I was there last week, and today I was thinking about how I was there, soaking up the sun, enjoying the beach, the food, the vibes, the people. Jamaica has this special kind of energy, and it's one of the reasons why I love going home. When people smile, it's a genuine smile like mine. And you say good morning to someone, and they like the smile on their faces, right? One of the things that I love about staying at resorts is mommy and I are always connecting with certain people, and then we get to learn their stories. So one of them is a young man that I met. He actually waited on us in when we went for breakfast and lunch, and he mentioned that he has a farm and he loves his farm, and he would never migrate, but he wouldn't mind coming to basically do part-time work or whatever and going back. And then he's doing it, he's working hard for his sister who's going to school. And these are the stories, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about having the opportunity to go home and give back in my own way, right? Because the reality of it is that could be me, right? I'm grateful that God has blessed me so that I can bless somebody else. Even when life gets hard, in Jamaica, there's always laughter. There's laughter, there's music, and there's warmth in the air. I always tell people that Jamaicans should never be taken seriously because we do not take life seriously. Again, Bob Marley's song, "Every little thing is gonna be all right." Jamaicans are basically everything is Iron Man, everything Chris and Corey, everything is always everything, and I love that about my little island, right? I'm sitting here, and I said to mommy yesterday, and I think this is why she's laughing at me, because I truly have. Hey, Jeannie, I truly have been um, going through it, and not in a depressing or sad mood or anything like that, but it was always on my mind. Jamaica was always on my mind, because the thing is, it's like no one knew what was going to happen. We knew that it was going to get hit. We didn't know how hard, and it has hit, and now we basically have to just wait it out, because I'm not able to communicate with anybody right now, because the lines are down. Um, there's going to be floodings. There's going to be like just a whole lot of stuff, like trees down. The roads are going to be messed up and all that. So it's going to take a while for my pretty little Jamaica. But you know what? We are resilient, because them say we look about with Tallawah, and that is so true, right? While I was there, um, when they mentioned the storm coming, I really didn't think much of it then. But then I remember when I was walking that last morning, and I did take notice, as I mentioned, of when the water came to shore, and there was more like seaweed, there was sea moss. We actually brought some back. We washed it and dried it and brought some back, but don't tell nobody. And they had signs that said, and this was before the storm, where they said, be careful to wear water shoes because there are sea urchins. I found some. I found two big ones and one little one. I did throw them back though. And so those were signs that something was coming, right? Because like the sea was depositing more than usual on the beach, and it was like, ooh, child. But because it was sunny and it was somewhat still nice, like I really didn't think much of it. So when I look back, it's like, wow, what a difference a week makes. Like people will say to me, "Oh my God, you missed it," and my response to them is, "No, I did not miss it. It was not meant for me. I wasn't meant to be there for her arrival. She didn't want me there." So I'm grateful for that, because I don't know. I don't know, like, someone who's visiting there, they said today that, I'm glad that I'm here to watch it because I've never, like, like witnessed one myself. And I was like, I don't know if I would want to be honest, because it's one thing to sit through it as it is happening, but it's the days following when the big cleanup and you're cut off from everything. You're cut off from everyone because, there's no telephone or anything like that. I mean, we went through it here with Sandy, but I feel like being on an island is totally different. I was telling somebody yesterday that when it was Sandy, I remember people were at the gas station lined up with gas, uh, their gas jugs, trying to get some gas because it was bad. But again, when Mother Nature decided that she want to come through, make way. But I don't know. I guess I never imagined that what I saw this morning was the beginning of what would soon hit my beautiful island. But I mean, again, she made her way slowly, and yeah, I mean, all I feel like all we can do is basically pray. I got so many text messages today. Well, one asking me, "Where are you?" Because people knew that I was in Jamaica based on my posts. But then they were also just sending me prayers for my family back home, and I'm very, very grateful because right now that is exactly what Jamaica needs: prayers. Because Lord knows we don't know what's going to happen when the dust settles, but we praying. I mean, the good thing is it's not like she hit in what do you call it? I think the South Coast. So basically, there were 4 parishes that were directly impacted, but that's because they're on the coast. Um, I asked about Montego Bay, and I think the eye was about 15 miles away. So it wasn't as devastated, but there is damage there also, unfortunately. Of course, um, everything is shut down. But I bet you what? I bet you tomorrow you turn on YouTube, you're gonna see people outside dancing like they fools instead of sitting inside and being safe. But Lord knows. The one thing I can say is that Jamaicans find humor in the middle of hurricane forecast. When I tell you, like, I saw a video this morning. Hey, Veronica! When I saw a video this morning where a young man was standing on, what do you call it? On it was I guess I don't know if it was a balcony, but he was standing on the railing and he was holding up the Jamaica flag and it would go like this, and I was like, I tell you, my people, we something else. But I love us. I swear to God, I love us because you know what? The reality of it is this is one of those things where there isn't anything that that I can do, or for most people can do, except to just laugh and pray and just have faith that all will be well. Other storms have hit and Jamaica survived, and it will. It's a tiny little island, but with Tallawah. But I will say though that for me, even though I was laughing my behind off for days now, there was some anxiety. And the reality of it is introverts feel deeply. It's in our nature. Like we can't help it. Mommy was asking me today, like, what is your problem? I was like, I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was calling her every 5 minutes to just report on what was going on. And every time I called, even when I got home, I was going on ChatGPT asking questions, and she there cracking up laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? She was like, you need therapy. And I'm like, no, I don't. But I mean, it is what it is, right? Our quiet hearts are often turned into the emotions around us. We can't help it. Like we kind of like just absorb energy. And that's why for us, we need time away by ourselves to recharge, because we do, like, we soak up energy. Um, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that um, it happened, because I feel like from here is basically the rebuild. Not sure how long that lady gonna be there, and I think they said she was going to be heading towards Cuba. I'm hoping that well, since it hit Jamaica, I'm guessing that they won't be impacted as bad as Jamaica, but like devastation is devastation, no matter how small, like any, because then have to basically the whole donating of money and the scams and oh dear God, but we will pray. Um, Getting in touch with family though, I feel like that's going to be the hardest part because again, one of my favorite people on this planet lives in, how old is she now? She's like 98, I think. And I tell people that I don't really use WhatsApp except for with her. And that is because she says good morning. She say in the morning she'll say good morning, cousin Ann, and I'll say good morning, cousin Ivy, and at night, and that's it. We just say good morning and good night to each other every single day. And the last time that we communicated, I think was on. I sent her a message on Sunday. She never responded, and I sent a message to her daughter just to let her know that they were in my thoughts, and she responded. And that gave me some hope. Unfortunately, now I can't get nobody on the line, so all I can do is pray. Um, that all will be well because they had Gilbert, they had Beryl, they had Ivan, and now we have Melissa. And it's funny because mommy was saying today that all of the bad ones were women, but no, Gilbert was a menace. And for those of a certain age, I'm guessing you should remember that right after he left, somebody made a song about Gilbert and how Gilbert gave them a satellite dish and Gilbert gave them a TV. Gilbert gave them that. Again, Jamaicans say nothing. Seriously. So what we can do right now is just laugh and, basically just keep on pushing. Um, I will say that introverts have this natural ability to hold space, to feel with people, not just for them. And even 100 miles away, there's a spiritual connection with my little island. Um, Mommy and I usually go in August, but this year I delayed it until October for the retreat, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad that I was there um, recently, and I'm glad that I was there with people who had basically visited for the first time and they had a great time. I'm also happy and grateful that we were all, hey Starling! I'm also happy and grateful that we were all able to leave before this lady Melissa decided to basically come barreling through. Um, yeah, I mean it's life, and again, I'm not even sure how to feel. Like I'm laughing, and I'm laughing because that's all I can do right now. Because the whole thing to me, like when I see videos of my people home, no matter if it's old person, young person, or in between, they're all acting like nothing happened. Like some of the videos, and even like in storms past, like they're outside just running up and down in the rain, and just like it is what it is. Again, that's why I love my people. Um, Yes, I'm home. I'm actually back in New York, Starling. So I'm grateful for that. But I do have family that's there that unfortunately not able to connect with because of the wide power outage. But um, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm going to keep trying, and hopefully by tomorrow or the next day, I will be able to get in touch with somebody so that my spirit can be at ease. All weekend I was checking updates, and I guess for the next few days I'm going to continue to check updates to see what's going on because I'm like a little while ago I went to Chat GPT and I was like, when is she gonna leave? Like how long, because of course like now it's basically heavy winds and rain. It's gonna be a lot of flooding. The roads are gonna be tore up. There will be mudslides. I'm praying because this morning I learned that there were I think 3 people died in Dominican Republic from because of Melissa, and I think 3 had already also died this morning. By this morning, when I heard, and the lady didn't even arrive. I'm gonna keep calling her the lady. um, but the one thing that I will say is Jamaicans are resilient. We find joy in the darkest skies. We really do. We laugh in the face of danger, and I hope that when everything is settled, that Jamaica will, and I know it will, Jamaica is going to be rebuilt bigger and better. There are people there who were vacationing and unfortunately are stuck, um, but well, no, I was gonna say where's better, where else is better to be stuck than Jamaica? But honestly, right now, I'd rather be here. I'd rather be here right now because Lord have mercy. But it is what it is. God has purpose, and this happened for a reason. And those who believe and have faith know that everything is intentional, right? Um, yeah. Again, the Jamaican them look about them Tallawah. And so we may be a small island, but we are very mighty. That spirit runs deep. From the neighbor who shares a generator cord to the auntie who still manages to make soup by candlelight, and to the granny that basically cooked dinner for everybody in the neighborhood. We rebuild, we laugh, and we rise again. We're Jamaica, right? Um, and I don't know where I put my book, but again, I'm grateful for those who have been following me on this 20-day journey. It has been quite the roller coaster because I started here, I was in Jamaica, I'm back now, and now the lady hit, the lady decided to visit my little island. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this platform so that I can share my thoughts about what's going on. And I'm grateful to you for supporting me on my journey. Never thought that I would be on YouTube, let alone doing this 25-day sprint. But here I am, and I'm grateful. But maybe this is a reminder for all of us that even when life feels like a storm, there's still strength, there's still grace, and there's still peace waiting on the other side. Sometimes we think that all is lost, but the reality of it is it could be just the beginning. Tonight, I am praying for safety, peace, and calm after the storm for my little island, my beautiful little island, and for every heart that's weathering one inside or out, because storms will always come, but they never last forever. Thank you once again for joining me tonight. Hold on. I do this every day. You think I learned my lesson? If you haven't yet, please get my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is available on Amazon, societyofintroverts.com, and everywhere books are sold online. Again, thank you for joining me on this day number 20 of my journey. Um, today's, yeah, I will see you tomorrow for, for day 21. Please pray for those in Jamaica. Pray for their safety and pray for the island, basically recovery. I am grateful for life and I'm grateful for you. Thank you and good night. And I just want to wish everyone in the chat tonight, Jeannie, Veronica, and Starling, thank you so very much for joining me. I appreciate it greatly. And for those who are watching who are not in the chat, I thank you also. Please have a great